Chapter 1: The Mystery of the Blue Zones. Why do some people live long, vibrant lives, full of energy and joy, while others age quickly, struggling with chronic disease, fatigue, and loss of independence? This question has puzzled scientists, doctors, and health researchers for decades. And the most compelling answers don't come from expensive hospitals, advanced laboratories, or cutting-edge drugs. They come from real communities around the world, ordinary villages, towns, and cities where people naturally live long, healthy lives. These extraordinary regions are known as the Blue Zones. They are 5 unique places on Earth where people frequently live into their 90s, 100s, and beyond, not only adding years to their life but also adding life to their years. In these places, growing old does not necessarily mean becoming sick, frail, or dependent. Instead, elders remain active, purposeful, and connected, enjoying a vitality that seems almost impossible by modern standards. The term Blue Zones was first coined by explorer and National Geographic researcher Dan Buettner, who partnered with a team of demographers, scientists, and anthropologists to investigate where the highest concentration of centenarians, people over 100 years old, lived. They discovered 5 fascinating hotspots. Okinawa, Japan, known for the world's longest living women and their philosophy of Ikigai, a reason to live. Sardinia, Italy, home to the highest concentration of male centenarians, where men often live as long as women. Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, famous for its simple, bean-based diet and strong community bonds. Ikaria, Greece, a mountainous island where dementia and heart disease are almost unheard of. Loma Linda, California, USA, a Seventh-day Adventist community whose members live up to a decade longer than the American average. What's remarkable is that these places are scattered across different continents, climates, and cultures. Okinawa is an island in Asia. Sardinia is a Mediterranean mountain region. Nicoya is in Central America. Ikaria is a Greek island in the Aegean Sea. Loma Linda is a modern American city. And yet, despite their differences, these communities share strikingly similar lifestyle habits that appear to protect them against the chronic diseases that plague much of the modern world. For comparison, the average life expectancy in many developed nations hovers around 77 to 82 years. In the United States, rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and Alzheimer's are climbing. Yet in Blue Zones, people not only surpass 90 or 100 years of age, they do so while avoiding or delaying these illnesses entirely. Imagine a 95-year-old grandmother tending her garden or a 102-year-old grandfather walking up steep village hills daily. This is everyday reality in Blue Zones. The most hopeful part of this discovery is that you don't have to move to Okinawa or Sardinia to benefit. The longevity habits practiced in these regions are not magical, nor are they tied to exotic genetics. They are largely lifestyle-based, the result of diet, movement, community, mindset, and daily rituals. Modern science has studied these habits extensively, and research confirms their powerful effects on health, aging, and disease prevention. White Right Pointing Backhand Index. In this series, we'll uncover 7 key longevity habits from the world's healthiest people and show you how to apply them in your own life, especially if you're over 50. These are not complicated or expensive strategies. They are simple, practical, and deeply human. By adopting even a few of them, you can extend not just your lifespan but also your health span, the years you live strong, independent, and vibrant. Chapter 2, Habit 1, Eating a Plant-Powered Diet. Across every Blue Zone, one dietary theme is crystal clear: people eat mostly plants. Their meals are not centered on steak, processed foods, or fast food burgers. Instead, they are built around vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Let's break this down. Vegetables and fruits, rich in fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. In Okinawa, people eat bitter melon, pumpkin, and purple sweet potatoes daily. In Ikaria, wild greens, sometimes 150 different kinds, are foraged and eaten as salads, teas, or cooked dishes. These foods flood the body with protective compounds that reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. Legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, and black beans are daily staples in blue zones. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, families eat black beans 3 times a day. In Sardinia, minestrone soup with fava beans and lentils is a cultural tradition. Beans provide high-quality plant protein, resistant starch, which feeds healthy gut bacteria, and essential minerals like magnesium and potassium. Whole grains, brown rice, barley, oats, and corn tortillas form the backbone of meals. Sardinians eat naturally fermented sourdough bread made from heirloom wheat, which is easier to digest and richer in nutrients than modern refined bread. Whole grains provide steady energy and support heart health. Nuts and seeds. In Loma Linda, Adventists eat a handful of nuts daily, which studies show reduces the risk of heart disease and extends lifespan. Walnuts, almonds, and pistachios provide healthy fats, protein, and compounds that protect brain health. What about meat? It's not absent, but it's eaten sparingly. In Sardinia, pork is consumed, but usually in small amounts on Sundays or holidays. In Okinawa, pork is eaten on special occasions, but the daily diet is almost entirely plant-based. Fish is present in some zones, particularly Ikigai and Okinawa, but in modest portions. Dairy, when consumed, is often from goats or sheep rather than cows. On average, 90 to 95% of calories in blue zones come from plant-based sources. This dramatically contrasts with Western diets, where processed foods, animal products, and sugar dominate. Why does this matter? Modern science provides the answer. Diets rich in plants. Lower inflammation. Reduce risk of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Improve gut health and immune function. Support a healthy weight naturally. A plant-powered diet is nutrient-dense yet low in calories, helping prevent obesity and chronic illness. The fiber content also stabilizes blood sugar and keeps you fuller for longer, reducing overeating. White right pointing backhand index practical tip for you after 50. Aim for at least 30 grams of fiber daily from beans, vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. Replace 1 or 2 meat-based meals per week with plant-powered alternatives like bean soups, lentil stews, or chickpea salads. Snack on a handful of nuts daily. Just 1 to 2 ounces can cut heart disease risk by nearly half. Experiment with blue zone recipes, a Sardinian minestrone, an Okinawan stir-fry with bitter melon, or an Icarian bean stew. Remember, longevity is not built from exotic supplements or fad diets, it's built one plate at a time, with simple, plant-centered meals. Chapter 3, Habit 2, Moving Naturally. When most people think about exercise, they imagine gyms, treadmills, or workout classes. But in the blue zones, exercise isn't scheduled, forced, or separate from daily life. Instead, movement is woven naturally into every day, as much a part of life as eating or breathing. Blue zone residents don't train for marathons or lift heavy weights, yet they remain strong, flexible, and fit well into old age. How? Through constant low-intensity, natural movement. Some examples include walking. Residents walk everywhere, to markets, to visit friends, to church, or simply around their villages. Sardinian shepherds walk 5 to 10 miles daily across steep terrain. Okinawans stroll through their gardens and communities. Gardening. Nearly all centenarians in blue zones garden. It provides physical activity, fresh produce, and a sense of purpose. Pulling weeds, planting seeds, digging soil, these movements engage muscles without strain. Climbing hills or stairs. In Icaria and Sardinia, the landscape itself forces movement. People walk up steep hills daily, strengthening legs, hips, and cardiovascular systems. Household chores, cooking, cleaning, and tending animals all require light physical activity that accumulates throughout the day. This type of movement keeps joints supple, builds endurance, and prevents the sedentary lifestyle so common in the modern world. Compare this to the average American or European who might sit for 8 to 10 hours daily and then attempt to compensate with a 1-hour gym workout. Research shows that light activity spread across the day is more protective than one intense workout followed by hours of sitting. In Okinawa, even in their 90s, women squat down to sit on tatami mats and then stand back up multiple times daily. This simple movement keeps leg and core muscles strong and maintains balance, reducing fall risk. In Ikigai, older adults climb steep roads to visit neighbors, often carrying baskets or groceries. This natural resistance training helps maintain bone strength. Science backs this up. Studies show that non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT, the calories you burn from walking, standing, gardening, or daily chores, plays a major role in longevity. Regular, gentle movement lowers inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and boosts cardiovascular health. Right pointing back hand index practical tips for you after 50. Don't sit for more than an hour without standing or walking. Take stairs instead of elevators whenever possible. Walk after meals, even 10 to 15 minutes improves blood sugar control. Start a small garden, even on your balcony. Incorporate micro movements, stretch, bend, squat, or stand while on the phone or watching TV. Longevity isn't built in gyms, it's built through the thousands of small movements that add up, day after day, year after year. Chapter 4, Habit 3, Purpose, or Ikigai. One of the most profound and life-changing secrets of Blue Zone residents is not something you can measure on a lab test or buy in a store. It's something much deeper, a sense of purpose. In Okinawa, Japan, they call it Ikigai, which roughly translates to a reason for being. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, they call it plan de vida, a reason to wake up in the morning. This is not just philosophy or poetry. Science shows that having a clear sense of purpose is strongly linked to lower stress, better mental health, greater life satisfaction, and even reduced risk of early death. People who know why they wake up in the morning are more resilient against disease, recover faster from setbacks, and experience lower rates of depression and dementia. A study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that older adults with a strong sense of purpose had a 30% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Another study in psychosomatic medicine revealed that purposeful living is associated with lower rates of stroke and cardiovascular conditions. Purpose acts like an invisible protective shield, reducing chronic stress hormones and strengthening the body against aging. What purpose looks like in the blue zones? In blue zones, purpose is not tied to career status, money, or material success. Instead, it flows naturally from daily life. In Okinawa, elders often care for grandchildren, tend community gardens, or continue traditional crafts. Their ikigai may be as simple as teaching calligraphy, cooking for family, or preserving cultural songs. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, older adults maintain strong family bonds and take pride in passing down values and stories. Their plan de vida gives them motivation to stay active and engaged well into their 90s. In Icaria, Greece, purpose often comes from being embedded in community life, sharing meals, helping neighbors, and participating in village traditions. In Loma Linda, California, Seventh-day Adventists often find purpose in faith, volunteering, and serving others. In Sardinia, Italy, shepherds and farmers continue tending animals or vineyards long after what we would consider retirement age. For them, purpose is not a grand mission or a bucket list dream. It's woven into daily responsibilities, relationships, and traditions. That's why so many centenarians say they never felt the need to retire, they simply live, create, give, and stay connected to what matters. Why this matters after 50. As people age, many face transitions, children move out, careers slow down, retirement begins. Without purpose, these changes can lead to feelings of emptiness, boredom, or even depression. But with purpose, these years become an opportunity for growth, service, and joy. Right pointing back hand index practical tip to discover your ikigai, reflect on these for questions. What brings me joy? What makes me smile, feel alive, or lose track of time? What am I good at? Skills, talents, or natural abilities you've developed. What do others need? How can you contribute to your family, friends, or community? What gives my life meaning? What values, beliefs, or activities make your life feel worthwhile? Write down your answers and look for patterns. Then, align even small daily habits with that purpose. Maybe it's volunteering, teaching a skill, mentoring, or simply caring for a garden that feeds your family. Purpose doesn't have to be monumental, it just has to be yours. Chapter 5, Habit 4, Downshifting and Stress Relief. Stress is universal. No matter where you live, life brings challenges, illness, financial pressure, family responsibilities, and uncertainty. But the difference between ordinary people and Blue Zone residents is not that the latter have no stress. It's that they've learned to downshift, to deliberately release tension and calm the nervous system before it becomes toxic. Chronic stress keeps cortisol levels high, inflames the body, disrupts sleep, and accelerates aging. It's linked to hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and memory decline. But daily rituals of relaxation, reflection, and connection create a biological reset button, lowering inflammation and protecting health. How Blue Zone residents downshift. Okinawans pause every day to remember and honor their ancestors. This ritual grounds them, strengthens family identity, and provides perspective. Ikarians are famous for their afternoon naps. Even a short 30-minute rest lowers blood pressure, supports heart health, and boosts memory. Sardinians gather in the late afternoon for wine, laughter, and conversation with friends. This ritual is not just about drinking wine, it's about connection and slowing down. Loma Linda Adventists practice a weekly Sabbath, 24 hours of spiritual renewal, family time, rest, and disconnecting from work and stress. These habits may look different, but the underlying principle is the same, protecting space for rest and renewal. Science behind the practice. Research confirms the benefits of downshifting. A Harvard study found that people who practiced relaxation techniques daily had lower blood pressure and reduced need for medication. Regular naps have been shown to reduce risk of heart attack. Mindfulness practices decrease inflammatory markers like CRP, C-reactive protein. Why it matters after 50. As we age, the body is less resilient to chronic stress. Cortisol disrupts sleep, accelerates bone loss, and impairs memory. That's why deliberate stress relief isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for healthy aging. White right pointing backhand index practical tip, create your own daily or weekly downshifting ritual. Options include a short walk in nature, focusing on your breath. Meditation or prayer for 10 to 15 minutes. Journaling to release worries from your mind onto paper. Listening to calming music. Taking a warm bath before bed. It doesn't need to be long. Even 10 minutes a day of deliberate unwinding can dramatically lower stress hormones and help you feel calmer, clearer, and healthier. Chapter 6, Habit 5, the 80% Rule. One of the simplest yet most powerful longevity practices comes from Okinawa, Hara Haji Bu. It's a Confucian teaching that encourages eating until you are 80% full, not stuffed, not bloated, just comfortably satisfied. In modern culture, overeating is the norm. Restaurants serve oversized portions, and people often eat quickly, distracted by TV or phones, making it easy to consume far more than needed. This chronic overeating leads to obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and accelerated aging. But in Okinawa, elders have practiced Hara Hachi Bu for generations. They stop eating when they feel about 80% full, leaving a comfortable space for digestion. This creates a natural calorie moderation without strict dieting or counting calories. Why this matters? Overeating floods the body with excess calories, which are stored as fat. Eating until you're comfortably satisfied prevents weight gain and reduces oxidative stress. It also gives the digestive system a break, improving energy levels and gut health. Modern science confirms the benefits of calorie moderation. Studies on caloric restriction show it extends lifespan in animals and reduces risk factors for disease in humans. Research from Harvard found that reducing calorie intake without malnutrition improves markers of metabolic health, lowers inflammation, and may protect against age-related decline. What Blue Zone meals look like? In Okinawa, traditional meals are served in small bowls and include miso soup, stir-fried vegetables, tofu, and sweet potatoes. The variety and nutrient density make meals satisfying without being calorie-dense. In Sardinia, families eat minestrone soup with beans and whole grain bread, often served in modest portions. In Nicoya, beans, rice, corn tortillas, and fruit form the base of meals, with modest amounts of meat or cheese. Why it matters after 50. As metabolism slows with age, the body doesn't need as many calories, but it needs more nutrient density. Overeating after 50 often leads to belly fat, insulin resistance, and increased disease risk. Practicing the 80% rule helps maintain a healthy weight, protects the heart, and improves energy. Right pointing backhand index practical tip. Eat slowly, it takes about 20 minutes for your brain to register fullness. Use smaller plates and bowls. Pause halfway through your meal and ask, am I truly hungry, or just eating out of habit? Avoid eating while distracted, like watching TV. Focus on your food and enjoy every bite. Chapter 7, Habit 6, Wine, Tea, and Social Meals. Food and drink in blue zones are never just about nutrients. They are about connection, ritual, and joy. While modern nutrition often reduces meals to calories, proteins, and carbs, the world's longest-lived people understand something deeper: meals are meant to be shared. Eating together feeds not only the body but also the heart and soul. Social meals as a pillar of health. Across all 5 blue zones, meals are a social experience. Families sit together at the table, neighbors invite each other over, and celebrations center around food. This communal way of eating strengthens bonds, reduces loneliness, and creates emotional stability. Loneliness, as modern research shows, is as dangerous to health as smoking 15 cigarettes per day. But in blue zones, loneliness is rare because mealtime is never solitary. The role of wine in Sardinia and Icaria. In Sardinia, particularly in the mountainous regions, people drink Canonor wine, a local red that contains up to 3 times more flavonoids, antioxidants, than most other wines. These flavonoids protect blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. Sardinians typically drink a glass or 2 with meals, never alone, and always in the company of friends or family. In Icaria, Greece, wine is also part of the culture, but it's often homemade, organic, and consumed slowly during long, laughter-filled meals. Importantly, neither culture drinks excessively. The wine is a complement to food and conversation, not an escape or a form of stress relief. Tea rituals in Okinawa. Okinawans rarely drink wine, but they have their own daily beverage rituals. Herbal teas like jasmine, turmeric, and green tea are staples. These teas are rich in antioxidants and have anti-inflammatory properties. Turmeric tea, in particular, is linked to improved brain health and reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. Drinking tea is often a slow ritual, an opportunity to pause, breathe, and connect with the moment. Plant-based communal meals in Loma Linda. In Loma Linda, California, many Seventh-day Adventists gather for communal potluck meals. These meals are almost entirely plant-based, with beans, lentils, whole grains, salads, and fruit as staples. Sharing food together reinforces community bonds and provides both physical nourishment and emotional support. Science of context and moderation. The blue zone secret is not just what they drink but how. Wine is consumed with food, in moderation, and in community. Teas are enjoyed slowly, as part of daily rituals. The context transforms food and drink into medicine rather than poison. In contrast, modern habits of drinking alcohol alone, in large quantities, or without food lead to disease and dysfunction. Why this matters after 50. As people age, social connections and routines around food become even more important. Loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, and early death. But sharing meals creates belonging, lowers stress, and improves digestion through slower, more mindful eating. Right pointing backhand index practical tip: don't just focus on what's on your plate. Focus on who's at your table. Invite a friend for dinner, plan family meals, or join a community cooking group. If you enjoy wine, have it in moderation, 1 glass for women, 1 to 2 for men, and always with food and conversation. If you prefer tea, make it a mindful ritual, sip slowly, breathe deeply, and enjoy the moment. Chapter 8, Habit 7, Belonging and Community. Longevity is not just about diet, exercise, or stress management. It's also about who you surround yourself with. In every blue zone, strong community bonds are central to life. People know each other, care for one another, and belong to groups that provide support through every stage of life. Moais in Okinawa. One of the most fascinating examples comes from Okinawa, where people form moais, lifelong social groups. These are small circles of friends who commit to supporting one another emotionally, socially, and even financially if needed. Moais meet regularly to share meals, talk, and check on each other. For Okinawans, this network provides security, friendship, and purpose that lasts a lifetime. Sardinian villages. In Sardinia's mountain villages, elders are revered and deeply integrated into daily life. Unlike many Western societies where aging can bring isolation, Sardinian elders remain at the heart of community life. They continue to advise families, help with childcare, and participate in village activities. Their wisdom is respected, which gives them dignity and a reason to stay engaged. Loma Linda's faith-based community. In Loma Linda, faith plays a key role. Seventh-day Adventists are strongly connected through religious services, group activities, and shared values. Their faith provides not only spiritual nourishment but also practical health benefits: no smoking, limited alcohol, plant-based diets, and weekly Sabbath rest. Most importantly, members support each other. No one faces life's challenges alone. Science of belonging. Modern research confirms that social isolation is deadly. A meta-analysis published in PLOS Medicine found that people with strong social relationships had a 50% increased chance of survival compared to those who were isolated. Loneliness increases risk of early death as much as smoking and obesity combined. Conversely, meaningful relationships reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and even boost immunity. Why it matters after 50. After retirement, when work-related networks may disappear, social connections become even more vital. Without community, people may slip into isolation, which accelerates aging. But with strong bonds, aging becomes joyful, supported, and purposeful. White right pointing backhand index practical tip: cultivate community. Join clubs, volunteer, attend religious services, or create your own moai with close friends. Even small acts, weekly coffee dates, shared walks, or phone calls can dramatically extend both the length and quality of your life. Chapter 9, Lessons from the Centenarians. When researchers ask centenarians about the secret to their long lives, their answers are strikingly simple. They don't talk about supplements, gyms, or special diets. Instead, they say things like, "I eat beans every day. I walk everywhere. I laugh a lot. I have my family around me. I don't worry too much." Their wisdom reflects both cultural traditions and personal attitudes. Optimism, resilience, and humor appear consistently among long-lived individuals. They don't fight aging, they embrace it with grace, gratitude, and a sense of adventure. Mindset of Blue Zone Centenarians. Optimism. Many centenarians describe themselves as positive thinkers. Even when facing loss or hardship, they focus on what remains rather than what's gone. Resilience. They've lived through wars, poverty, and illness, yet they bounce back with strength and adaptability. Humor. Laughter is common in daily life. Joking, singing, and playful conversation are woven into social gatherings. Gratitude. They express thankfulness for simple things: family meals, sunshine, fresh air. Science of attitude and longevity. Studies show that a positive outlook is associated with lower levels of inflammation, stronger immunity, and reduced risk of chronic disease. A study from Yale University found that people with positive views of aging lived 7.5 years longer on average than those with negative perceptions. White right pointing backhand index practical tip: learn from the centenarians. Keep life simple. Focus on family, friendships, and meaningful daily routines. Laugh often, worry less, and practice gratitude every day. Chapter 10: Bringing Blue Zone Secrets into Your Life. The beauty of Blue Zone habits is that they are not exotic, expensive, or reserved for a lucky few. They are simple, sustainable, and accessible to anyone. You don't need to move to Okinawa or Sardinia to benefit. You can create your own Blue Zone lifestyle wherever you are. 7 habits to start today. Eat mostly plants and legumes. Beans, lentils, fruits, and vegetables should be your daily staples. Move naturally. Walk, garden, take stairs, stretch. Build movement into your daily routine. Discover your purpose, Ikigai, know why you wake up in the morning. Downshift to manage stress, pray, meditate, nap, or create rituals of relaxation. Eat mindfully and stop at 80% full. Hara Hachi Bu, don't overeat. Share meals, enjoy wine or tea in moderation, make food social, not just functional. Build strong connections and community. Relationships are medicine. Final takeaway. Longevity is not about simply adding years to life. It's about adding life to years. By adopting these 7 simple but profound habits, you can increase not just your lifespan but your health span, the number of years you feel strong, energetic, and fulfilled. And the best part? These habits don't require drastic changes. They require small, daily choices that compound over time into a life of vitality, joy, and resilience. Sparkles, the world's healthiest people are not superhuman. They are ordinary people who live with purpose, community, balance, and gratitude. You can do the same, starting today.